Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the live cast of BU, the Inner Circle. Margaret Smith and I are here to be able to talk about our membership, to be able to introduce you to some of the members, and to be able to make this exciting announcement that we are opening the doors for the first time since we started a few months ago, October 25th, for 7 days, which means that you have to become a new member by Halloween.
Yeah, I love how
Margaret.
That worked out so perfectly. On Halloween at midnight, the doors will close.
Yep, the bewitching hour. So have your don't turn into a pumpkin, right? Be able to come and join. So this has been quite a ride, right? We have been since February in BU, the Inner Circle, and we've had some incredible successes and stories. So we're really excited for the people who are coming to join us today to be able to share, what this has been like for them and to see whether or not this might be right for you who are listening out there.
Yeah, that's what, 8 months? I just had to count on my fingers. I think almost 9 months since we started
on
this
our
journey.
Success path. So now we're in stage 5, optimize it. And we've learned, right, that no matter when someone comes in, they can still go through all of the stages and learn, because it really is perpetual, right? Learning, self-improvement for personal and professional development is ongoing.
Yeah.
We've developed this success path. And since we have had members leave and new members be substituted for people that had annual memberships, we've already seen that this works. That it's successful to be able to come in and pick up where we are on the success path and begin their journey.
What would you say over the last 8 months? What's something that you've learned that you didn't know it would be like this, or something that appeared to you that you found kind of surprising or different?
Well, I have been really amazed at watching our members, and then for myself as well, being so grounded in what it looks like to take care of ourselves. What it looks like to set up our lives, our thinking, how we're, communicating, and what that looks like in everyday practical terms, so that we are really enjoying our lives more. I mean, I am more grounded and more relaxed than I have been and I own my own business, right? We have other business owners in BU, the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
That's been a big one for me, and to watch how that unfolds in people's lives. How about for you?
Yeah, I mean, I kept going back to how you made the comment a couple of weeks about how at each of our conversations, doesn't matter who the speaker is or if it's just us as a group talking, all the conversations go back to self-care. And I've always really believed that and known it, but it's just so interesting to see it happen with a group like this, to see it actually come to fruition, that each time we come back to, well, are you sleeping enough? Are you eating well? What have you done for yourself in the last 7 days? Or have you only been serving other people? And so it's been really interesting and enlightening to have those conversations continue, and not have it be just like with my retreats or with coaching calls. You have this one instance of where you talk about it and then you kind of let it go because you got to go focus on other things. But with BU, we have this opportunity to meet every month and just get a little baby steps further. And so having never done something like this, I definitely feel like it's exactly what we're supposed to be doing. And it feels awesome to have the people that are here, to have them see the progress that everybody's making, that the more they take care of themselves, the more they see results in their work and in their personal lives.
Yeah, because it's like a tapestry we've been able to see, right? Because we have a structured curriculum. We have agendas for each meeting. We have homework assignments. So we have this structure to help everyone in their personal and professional development. And then layered underneath there is, are we sleeping? Are we eating well? What's happening? What are we not talking about that we need to talk about? And so these things are impacting personal and professional development and performance, whether members are a business owner, they have their own TC business, whether they are on a team, whether or not they have direct reports, right? So we have all of these different varieties of what is the career of people who are members of BU, the Inner Circle, but it's always a tapestry. It always has these different layers to it And so it's been wonderful to watch people explore on all these different levels and then have breakthrough so that they're, really changing themselves and their lives.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which was what we hoped for, right? That was our intention.
That was totally our intention. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because here's our current book, right? Contagious You by Anise Kavanaugh. We decided to even work on it even longer, but we also had the author come speak, right? We had Anise Kavanaugh come and work with us for 90 minutes, which was outstanding.
It was awesome. Yeah, I love having the opportunity to actually talk to the people that I think it helps you keep in mind and just remember that all of these people that we read and we research about, they're real humans. They same as us, they have lives and they do, but so it really makes it tangible and makes you say to yourself, okay, if they can do this, I can do it too. And that's that I think that was always what helped to kind of change my perspective on my life, was thinking like, okay, if they can do this, this is not just like, it's not like from some movie or some like really some place where I can't reach out, and it's tangible, it's real life stuff.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of the pieces while we're waiting for our first guest to come, which is we have inside the big group, we have accountability groups, right? So that members get an experience of being in a larger group so that you can see the camaraderie and be able to understand and see how people are going through their career as a real estate admin in whatever form that is. And then we've broken people down into accountability groups, and they stay in that group for 2 months. And then we change and give them another accountability group. We ask the accountability groups to meet once a month outside the group. And it's really meant so that people can have a network, they can have connections, they can learn from each other. You and I are very conscious about the assignments, right? When we make the accountability groups, so that different people can learn and share from one another that are going to be able to make a difference for them. Because we see and hear, you've had it in your own experience, I see it in my coaching business, that having a network of shared experience is completely priceless. And that is another reason why we see people in BU, the inner circle, thriving, because they're not only doing their individual work, but they're in a collection, and now they have a really incredible network.
Yeah, and I think that is something I've always talked about in my classes because it's not just about being able to call somebody up and say, hey, how did you do this event? Like, how did you organize it? What were your results? But there's something to be said about when you share out with the world what you're going through and what you need more of, and you ask for help or you ask for feedback, things can happen from that. And I think sometimes we hold back because we don't want to, as admin and operations folks, we want to be able to take care of everything because that's our job, is to make it happen. But having that network actually makes everything happen more easily. And so it really, I've always said that to people. It's kind of, that's like my secret sauce. And I know that same for you, like the wider your network, the more access you have to different opportunities and reaching different people. And that's definitely the magic. Yeah.
And we can also mention that every stage on our success path, or we have 6 stages, we link having certain leadership skills, right, that people can work on and see where they are about that. In where we are right now, our leadership skills are delegation, passion, being tech savvy, and learning agility, right? So we're always, putting into and sort of infusing into the BU success path about what are each of the different layers that you want to work on. Because while we are doing a group membership program, it is individually customized, right, for whatever the person really wants to be able to focus on.
Yes. All right. Sorry, I've been texting back and forth with our first person. I think she's able to be here, so we can let her in.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Hello.
Hey.
Sorry,
Yay.
guys.
You made it.
I did. I had my meeting with Mark, so.
That's okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Kathleen. How are you?
We've told everybody that we're not live on Facebook, but we're recording everything. So we're going to take this and share it with the world. And So thank you for taking the time to share with us your experience.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start off first with just sharing your name, your title, and a little bit about what you do.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'm Amanda Candelius. I am the director of client. I don't know where to look. I'm the director of client care. I have my screen all small. Sorry. Okay. We've got everything.
There you go. You're good.
I am Amanda. I'm the director of client care for Closer Pros. So basically I help real estate agents leverage off their client nurture and sphere of influence touches so that they can focus on the now business. So
incredible.
Awesome. Yeah. Love it. And what prompted you to join the Inner Circle last February?
Yeah, so really I just, I'm a big believer in being around like-minded people who are all in a season of wanting to grow. And so that was why I joined, honestly, because I knew it was going to be a bunch of people who were investing in something, which always tells me that, you know, they're wanting to grow. They're not just wanting free webinars or whatever. They, you know, when you put your money where your mouth is, like that really tells me a lot, right? And so being in a space with, you know, 40 or so people that all wanted growth. That was our goal. Didn't matter what the growth was. We all wanted growth. I wanted to be a part of that. And so that was why I joined.
Love it. Thank you.
Of course.
And what has surprised you about the group?
Probably honestly, the connections that have taken place in the in-between. You know, I love my people. I'm not the most like people-y of all people, if that makes sense. Like, you know, I'm not one to want like 400 friends. And at the same time, it's been really cool having a space of like 40 like-minded people with varying backgrounds to mastermind and network with, because it's been really cool for my business to be able to have people who maybe have expertise in marketing to be like, hey, how would you do this differently? How would you shift that? And then just the connection piece, you know, that always surprises me. So
nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. What would you tell someone who's on the fence about joining?
I mean, you know, my answer, just freaking do it. Like, I think when people are like floundering, they know exactly what they need to do. They're just trying to talk themselves out of it. So people, if you're on the fence about it, you know, you need to do it. And whatever that limiting belief is, just get over it. I mean, I don't know how else to say that any more honestly than that. Like, I think there's always something worth trying. And I think this is one of those things that's worth trying, because I think it creates a great space for people to grow and learn in a safe environment.
Mm-hmm.
And why do you keep coming? What's the momentum of the learning environment and the growth for you?
For me, it's that connection piece. I want people in my space that, here's how I'll say it. I always want to be the dumbest person in the room. And what I mean by that is I want to be not the smartest. I want to be not the one that knows everything. And I think this is a great group of ladies and man who, you know, or men, two men, who want that, you know, they all want growth and they're all high level and they all have different businesses and different sets of skills that I know nothing about. And so getting to be in a room with those people makes me the dumbest person in a lot of areas. And that's great, because that naturally means I'm going to grow faster and better. And so that's what keeps me coming back, is just that the growth opportunity and the connection with the other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you make me think about, right, because the people in the group it is global, because we have team members who have virtual team members who are from the Philippines or from, you know, other parts of the world. And so they're a part of BU, and we have business owners and individual contributors. And so it really is this incredible mixture of a network from everywhere. It's cool.
Well, and I just think it's cool. I've moved all over the country. And so for me, I've loved getting to hear how different parts of the country even do the same thing, because it's different. Like what you need to do we'll just take a real estate transaction from a transaction coordinator perspective. What you need to do in Maryland is wildly different than what you need to do in Washington, but there's some streamlines and efficiencies that can come out of just learning how other people are doing things in conjunction with their certain set of skill sets. And I just think that's really cool, let alone making it global and how the Philippines do it. Like you just learn how to communicate and become more efficient at a higher level when you're exposed to more information. You know, knowledge is power, baby.
It is.
You bring up a good point about I remember when I first started at Pickett Street, Jesse said, I want you to make friends outside of this market, because it's one thing to show up to an admin mastermind in your market and be able to network and share a little bit, but we didn't necessarily want to share all our secrets with the people that are right in the same office with us.
Mhm.
And so when you go outside your market, you can also find that you can share more, because you're not going to affect I mean, I always believe in sharing everything anyways, because there's more than enough business to go around. But there's just a lot of value, I think, stepping outside of your area.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I just think what a great opportunity we have to do that. I mean, why not? Why the heck not hear how you do it and see if I can take anything from it? Maybe it's even just one word change, but it makes all the difference, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm curious, Amanda, if you would share with us, what is a leadership skill that you've worked on for yourself, or what is something that has changed in your life, if you're willing to share with everybody?
Yeah, of course. I think for me, the biggest thing I have noticed over the last couple months, and I definitely attribute it to being a part of BU and just that community and networking, is really just owning my voice and my space. And what I mean by that specifically is I've always been kind of that observer, fly on the wall, unless I really feel hell-bent about sharing things. And over the last few months, I've really just kind of stepped out of that comfort zone of that and stepped into wanting to share my experience and my thought process and even my vulnerabilities and my struggles, just because it's that connection piece, right?
Yeah.
I oftentimes don't enjoy communicating information unless there's a purpose in it. And so unless I immediately know there's a purpose, I don't want to do it. And BU and, just the community of BU has helped me to share it, even if I don't have that logicality behind it, because there's likely someone that needs to hear it or wants to hear it and just hasn't asked. And so that's given me a space to, just because you don't hear it doesn't mean you shouldn't share it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Really
that.
nice. Appreciate
Yeah.
that about you.
Yeah, I guess to summarize that, I've gone from being a silent observer to an active participant. I'm working on it. Work in progress here.
Yeah, everybody, all of us.
Yeah. One other question that came to mind as you were talking was, I think it's interesting to think about the accountability groups. Like, I'm really glad that we did that, and we started this group with that. So it's not just us meeting as a big group twice a month, but we also have encouraged the accountability groups to meet on their own once a month. And so you've been in enough masterminds around in different states around the US to know what that can be like. So what have you learned from that experience? Because I think from what I've seen so far, it's been interesting to see someone has to kind of take the lead on that. Someone has to say, hey guys, we're meeting. What day and time can we meet? And what have you learned about that? Just the process.
You asking what I've learned about accountability groups, or what have I learned?
Yeah, about the process of making that happen outside. And
yeah, I think oftentimes, I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to say it how it's coming to mind. I think oftentimes admin oriented people are so used to being the ones that are waiting for the vision, but they've got the vision in them and they've got the leadership in them. They're just waiting for it, right? Because that's their setup, right? Agent or boss or whoever is the one that delivers the information, and then I receive it and I implement it, right? We're implementers. And so being forced into a space where we have that voice and are able to exercise that leadership skill is great, because it's super safe. And so for me, I think it gives admin a space where we're all like, hey, we're kind of on the same even playing field here.
Yes.
And who's going to step up and take a shot on it, because it's a safe space, right? Like I might send the email and say, hey, Mo and Kathleen, we're an accountability group. Like, let's get together. And I might totally drop the ball, but at least I had that space to exercise and try those things. Because I think, I don't believe practice makes perfect, but I believe practice makes progress. And the more times we do something, the easier it becomes. And so I feel like BU and the accountability group specifically give an opportunity for people to exercise leadership in both small and large ways, which then allows them to take that back to their job or even their personal life and really start implementing those things, because it becomes easier. Now it's not as scary to do that because I did it in the accountability group.
Yes, because we know we've had people share stories about things like now they will speak to their clients, right? If they own a TC business, right? They'll speak to their agents who are their clients in a way where they're able to really set expectations, set some different kinds of boundaries, and they got to practice that, in working inside the group and then bring that outside. And that's just huge.
Yeah.
It's a big relief.
Christina Jagels, who's in BU, told me this a long time ago, and I used to buck at it, but it was fake it till you make it. And I used to have a hard time with that concept because it felt, it just didn't feel authentic to me. And what I learned in faking it till you make it is sometimes you just need to put on your big girl hat and do the thing. And then one of two things happens. You either just did it, and so now it's not as scary because you don't have the fear of the unknown there, or you do it and you fail and you learn from it. But at the very least, like, you have the experience and the exposure behind you, so it's not as big moving forward, and then you take it and you implement it. And so it's really easy from there.
Yes,
Have that. Yeah.
agreed.
So true. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we move on to our next person?
No, just the only thing I thought and wrote down when you shared the questions with me was, if you're on the fence, just do it. I mean, what do you have to lose, right? We pay for a lot of big things in our life as it is. And, you guys aren't going to hold our feet to the fire if we want to dip out. So why not take a chance? I think majority of the people have stayed throughout the year. Why not take a chance on yourself and really see if you can learn and grow? Because the worst case, you're just out some money and a little bit of time. And that's really it. So
And might make some friends even in the meantime.
make some friends, some connections. I've gotten business out of the group. So for me, it's a no-brainer, but
Cool.
Cool.
Thanks.
of course.
Thank you so much. I know you were busy this morning.
Yeah. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Appreciate it.
Oh, always good to see you.
All right. See you guys.
She is so well spoken about how just the impact of everything and the things that she's brought up and noticed through the last year. It's really cool.
Well, and it's interesting to see, right, that observer on the wall, right, the fly on the wall. And now, right, she's using more of her voice, but she's been observing for some time. And so she also knows what she's talking about because she's been paying attention.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Yes.
All right. Well, our next person's in the waiting room. Should we go ahead and let her in?
Yeah, let's welcome Steffi on.
Okay.
There she is.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Very well.
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
Hey, if Champ wants to come on screen, it's totally
Oh,
okay.
he's right here. You know,
I think he's gonna be. He might gonna have a gig like in TV someday. He definitely
right.
he likes to be a part of it.
There you go. Say hello. I'm sorry, I scratched you. I'm sorry. Say hey.
Hey.
No, that's all. He just wanted y'all to see him.
I like it. Well, thank you for spending some time with us this morning and sharing about your experience with BU. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all as always.
So start us off by telling us a little bit your name, your title, what you do for a living, where you work.
Okay. My name is Stephion Morris, and I'm here with the Keller Williams Northwest Louisiana Market Center. So started off as an executive assistant for one of our agents. When I first started, she was an individual agent. Then for a short while, we were a team. Then it went back to an individual agent. So started her in 2017. And now at this point, I've pretty much transitioned into full-time transaction coordinator. I still do transaction coordinating for the agent that I started with, and then I've started my business, my transaction coordinating business.
And what is the name of your business?
It's Stephion Morris right now for the time being. I'm still working on the name. I'm procrastinating, I think.
It's exciting. It's awesome.
It's exciting.
I'm sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
Here, pull your chair up right here. You can sit by mama. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good.
So right now you're full time for that agent and starting your own business on the side.
Yes. So when you're an executive assistant, you're kind of doing everything. You're kind of like the catch-all. Whatever the agent doesn't have time to do, that's what you do. But over time, I realized that transaction coordinating was really what I enjoyed doing and what I was good at. So it was a natural transition, and thankfully, she's really easy, really supportive. So she was very supportive of whichever way I wanted to go.
That's awesome.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
And so what prompted you to join the BU, the Inner Circle, last February?
So when I joined BU, when I first heard about it, someone that
That's
Everything
okay.
Jess, I think it's Jess Yeager.
Yeah.
Is that her name? Yeah, some type of way I became friends with her on Facebook. I have no idea how. I just, I probably ran across her in one of the admin groups. And then I think we became friends that way, but she posted the information about BU. So that's how I started following it. I went back and forth for weeks about whether or not I wanted to join. And then when it came down to the deadline, I think I maybe joined the last day that it was open to be able to join. And initially I thought that it would be a group where I was looking to help build systems for my business. So that's initially why I joined. I was like, okay, I can get in this group and probably get some advice, some guidance on how to build my systems. So that was my expectation from the beginning.
That's perfect setup for like, well, what surprised you about the group?
That's not what it is. It's named BU for a reason.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
It is called BU for a reason.
So it's more about building up yourself. Really, what I'll say is, since joining the group, I've become more aware of myself and of my feelings. I've become more present, and I've also become more intentional. And that's in my business life and my life, my home life. So while it's not what I expected it to be, I'm so glad that it's so much better than what I expected, and it's so much more meaningful than what I've expected, because what I get from BU, it's helped me to do what I thought it was going to help me to do anyway.
That's fascinating. Right? Because we all think that the system or the checklist or the software might be the answer, right? But what you're finding is that as you develop your own skills, your own self, your own awareness, your own intuition, your own communication, then the checklist and the software will be icing.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. And what was I gonna say? I just lost my train of thought. In the group, we talk a lot about, I know we talk about a lot about self-care and taking care of ourselves. And I'm very open that that's something that I haven't done a good job with lately. So I'm working on doing better with that. And I'm glad that we talk about that so much, because what I'm learning, or what I'm starting to believe, is that sometimes some of us, probably me included, me especially, can look at self-care or taking care of ourselves, putting ourselves first, is selfish. And I think it may be the complete opposite. It may be the most compassionate thing that we can do to take care of ourselves first, because if we take care of us, if I take care of me and make sure that I'm okay, then I'm so much better for those that I care about. I'm able to care for them better. I'm able to show up for them better, and just, that's just how. So now my whole thought is that it's not selfish for me to do something for myself. It's not selfish for me to put my needs first. It's actually, I'm being compassionate to myself, and I'm also showing my loved ones compassion, because if I'm okay, I'm going to show up a whole lot better for them. And that's better for all of us.
Yes. And you know, thank you for sharing that, because Margaret and I were saying recently, right, that no matter what the topic is, because we have a curriculum, right? We read books, we have speakers, we have leadership skills everyone's focused on, but the conversations always weave self-care into themselves.
Yeah.
Because it's so rampant that
Right.
operations people, I'll say, you know, in our group, I think it's also true in the world of the agents. I think a lot of them don't take care of themselves either. But that we don't take care of ourselves. And so then we're running on empty, trying to take care of everything. And so it's just an interesting, I don't know, byproduct.
If we could take that piece of recording right there with what Steffian just said and play it for the whole world and put it on repeat, and because it is true for humankind. Like, and I think that's what we've been figuring out with COVID is a lot of times people throw it to the side like, oh, it's not really necessary. I don't have to have a good lunch today, or I don't have to take a lunch break. And then the truth is they go out, you know, let's say to go pick up their kids after the workday, or the kids come home, or they're in the house with them during COVID, and they don't have any patience. They have zero patience because they haven't eaten yet. All they've had is coffee and water or whatever. And then their kids have a poor experience with their mom or dad because they're just like, well, why are they so angry with me? It's because they haven't eaten lunch, not because they haven't. So it's a huge problem. And I think it really has more to do with a lot of these, a lot of the negative experiences that we're having around the world, which is like, I know it's oversimplification and it's not the only issue, but I do think that people have not been taught to take care of themselves. And so there's less compassion, less patience, less of everything. So yeah, it's a huge point that you bring up.
Yeah, to then really be able to step into how can I be a great leader managing transactions, right? And be able to be in charge and to be able to be a strong authority and have a voice means that if you back that process up, you needed to take care of yourself in order to show up like that. So we keep trying to work on the show up part when we hadn't worked on the get ready part.
Yeah, that's true.
When I remember what you said, you shared, Steffian, about, you might have just shared this with me offline outside of the BU meeting, but you had said that you always remembered that meeting where somebody said to you, like, you don't speak often, but when you do, it's very powerful.
Yeah, I remember I said that. Someone said that to me at one of my first jobs that I had out of grad school. Someone said that to me, and that always sticks with me because I don't talk a lot, but I try to when I have something to say. Most of the time, well, not most of the time. Sometimes I speak up. But yeah, that sticks with me. I think about that all the time.
And I remember there's been some very poignant moments where you've shared in BU different things that have come to mind for you, and it's always beneficial to everybody when you speak up. Yes,
it's still true.
I'm glad.
Still true. And when you speak, it's always something useful.
What would you tell someone who's on the fence about joining the inner circle, who's just like, I'm not quite sure I should really do it? I guess kind of what you felt. Just do it.
I know that's so simple, but just join. Just give it a shot. At least like that first, I don't know, maybe the first meeting. Get to the first meeting and see how you like it, but just join. And especially now, I like that the doors are being opened now in like the last quarter of the year. So it's like you can join now, finish out, you know, it'll be a jump start on finishing out your year strong, and then a jump start on starting 2022 in a good place. So I mean, that's what I say. And if you know anyone personally that's in the group, reach out to them and talk to them one-on-one. But if you're on the fence and it's just on your heart, you really, really want to do it, and for some reason you're hesitant, just join. And I don't think you'll regret it.
Nice. Cool. Thank you. And how do you maintain your momentum? So why have you stayed? You know, what is the momentum that's happening for you?
So another I don't know what's going on with him. He likes to scream lately. That's his new thing. He gets
Speaking
so
of having a
excited.
voice, right?
Yeah. Yes. I don't think he's gonna have any trouble.
No problem.
So one other reason that I joined is because I wanted to be in a group with like-minded people. So when we get to meet, those meetings that we have twice a month, I get momentum from those because I think all of us in the group, we have something in common. Like all of us share some type of shared experiences or shared, what do I want to say? I can't think of I'm having a mind block. I can't think of the word, but we all have a lot in common. So for example, if one person in the group speaks up about something that they're feeling, there's going to be at least one or two other people who feel the same way. And so I get momentum from those meetings every month, just talking and being able to get our feelings out and share with one another, and also seeing the growth in everyone else. You know, some people may be quiet on some meetings, and then on the next meetings, they may be more vocal. But you can see the growth. You see that everyone finds the group beneficial. And I think it's because, first of all, because of what you, Mo, and you, Kathleen, bring to the group, and you provided us a space where we feel safe to share. We're comfortable. We don't feel like we're going to be judged. And then both of you are very patient and very gracious. Like if things are quiet for a while, if you ask someone to speak up and everyone's kind of like, no, I don't feel like talking today. You know, I never sense that either one of you are upset. It's just very patient, and eventually someone speaks up. And even with our assignments that we get during the stages, it's not like there's no pressure. It's not like a pass or fail. It's like, here, these are your assignments. This is what we think will help you during this stage and going into the next stage. If we don't finish it, if it's 2 or 3 months later that we finish it, it's still, oh, that's great. That's awesome. You know, it doesn't matter that it's 2 or 3 months later. So that's where just being in the group and surrounded by people who I feel like we want this, we're kind of in search of the same thing. And we're all about building one another up and helping wherever we can. And we all, because you all are patient and you all show us grace, we do the same thing with each other.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think what you remind me, as you're talking, you remind me about, so the most recent testimony that you submitted, I was like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing. Because you said, basically you said, I think the journey is in the search for the answer. It was something like that. It was like, it's not, like you just said, it's not about completing the homework assignment on time or like, but you, no matter what, you've showed up to the meetings, even if you didn't read or something didn't happen. And you've said it's in the search, where I was like, yes. I mean, that is the truth. It's that when you're constantly in the search for who you are, what does presence mean? How do you become more aware? It's in that search that you find those answers. And that was just so, I mean, perfectly said.
Yeah, that was an eye opener for me too, because I don't know if y'all remember during like the beginning, I told everyone that I had set these goals and I was meeting my goals. And like each time that I met one, I was excited and like proud for a minute. And then after that, it was just like, okay, what's next? So it didn't do anything for me like I thought it would. But then when I started thinking about it as in, it's not when you get to that goal and you meet it, it's about what did you have to do? What was the experience to get you from here to here?
Yeah.
Like this part is where, that's like where the magic is. That's where you get the lessons, and that's where the feeling that you want to feel is between here, and not necessarily when you get here. And that's kind of, I think you posted in the group the video about, I can't think of his name. We read his book.
Kyle
We're talking about goals and intentions. Yeah. So it's like the goal is that tangible thing that you look for, that thing that quantifiable thing that you can say, yeah, I did it. But the intention is like
that Kyle Cease and the illusion of money.
Yes, yeah. That video. I went back and I listened to most of the full interview, but he talked about the goal being like that quantify, like, hey, I want to make $30,000 next year. Okay, that's my goal.
Yeah.
But the intention is more of, how do you want to feel?
Yeah,
And
what
that's
experience do you want to have?
Yeah. So that's more of the feel. That's more of what I'm going after these days is, hey, how do you want to feel? And that, I like that better.
Well, and that was such a perfect, when I found that video, I was like, oh, I got to share this, because I remember back in the first month when we were asking everybody to set intentions for the first stage. And I know that the idea of setting an intention is different for a lot of people. Everybody's used to having the goals and having very specific, and especially as admin, I know that in different jobs, we are asked to, like, it's very hard to set like viable goals for the admin role. Whereas with agents, you can say, I want you to close 3 deals a month, 36 for the year. It's very tangible. And with the admin role, it's less tangible. And so I love the idea of shifting more into an intention, because it feels more achievable. And it's also, you should be feeling good while you're doing this. Like the feeling good piece should be a part of it, because then you get more good. Like with the better you feel, the better it gets.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that you said that, because you just made me think about at the beginning of each year, me and the agent that I work for, we used to go over our goals. And it would be so hard for me I'm not closing property, I'm not lead generating. Like, I don't know what my goal, and I've never thought about it. That's why. It's
really hard. And so it's, for me, I remember something shifted when I decided, okay, my intention is that Sarah Trosky and I, when we were working together at Pickett Street, we are going to be the best admin department on the West Coast. Whatever that is, we're going to be the best, and we're going to perform at a level where people know that, and we walk the walk, talk the talk. And so that was our intention. And that looks like a number of different things. It looks like us being spokespeople for the team, us supporting the agents the best way we know how, showing up each day how we want to show up, that we know, like, what does the best admin team look like? The best admin team looks like they're on top of their game. They know where all the systems are. So it really changed the feeling for me, because like you just said, I would go into those goal setting meetings like, I don't know, do we want to get 5 reviews a month? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Let's see if we had. I guess the next question we had for you is, why have you continued your membership? You've kind of answered that a little bit, but I know there's been times people have probably thought, oh, maybe I should drop out. I don't feel like I'm doing the homework enough. Or what has made you stick around?
Honestly, because there have been a few times where I haven't read the book, and we're going to be discussing the book on that meeting, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna get on. I'm embarrassed. I haven't read anything. And then I would just be like, no, because for one, if I don't attend the meeting this week, I know I'm gonna regret it. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna miss something that I needed. So, and not to keep talking about the feelings, but it's just like, I feel lighter when I come off of the meetings. Like, I feel lighter and I just feel better. Like, I'm never like, ugh, And
Well, you
believe I
know,
just
we
spent
do
2
talk
hours.
about we do talk about feelings a lot, so you can talk about feelings as much as you want because it's
Yes.
true.
It just feels good. I'm never like, I can't believe I just spent 2 hours on that. I'm just like, and sometimes honestly, once the meeting ends, if I'm at a good place in my work day, because you know, like here, by the time we meet, it's 12. So if I'm at a good place in my work day, I'll end my day after the meeting. I'm like, let me end on a good note today. And I might go outside with Champ, or I know one day after our last meeting, I wrapped things up and I took Champ to the park.
Yeah,
And
because
it
it's
was
also
like
on a Friday, right? Yep.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
Nice.
I just feel good after the meetings, and
I
I think
love
I
that.
missed maybe like 2. I missed 2, but then also knowing that if I haven't read the book, it's okay because I'm still going to be able to contribute.
Yes.
It's not like we're talking about the book like, well, did you read here on page 5 that she said? It's not like that. It's whatever we discuss that we get from the book, it applies to life, and we can all contribute to the discussion.
That's a really
So
good point.
again, no, there's no pressure. Like, you know, so that's why I continue to keep coming to the meetings.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you're a part of it.
Yes, I appreciate y'all. I know I tell you that a lot, but I really do. I really feel like joining BU has changed my life. Like, I've met a lot of goals this year. I've accomplished a lot of things that I wanted to accomplish, and I'm not sure if I would have done that if I wasn't in BU. I'm really not sure if I would have.
Wow. Yeah, it's been really fun to watch everybody take steps that maybe they normally wouldn't have felt like they could take as easily with the support of everybody.
Yeah.
So
thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we let you go for the day?
Yeah, I think I pretty much shared everything. Can't think of anything else.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank y'all. Thank you for inviting me to do this. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you for having me, and Champ. Say bye-bye.
Bye, Champ.
He's eating his blueberries. It's okay. All right. Bye, y'all. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
All right. Thank you.
Let's see. Geez, again, such a poignant experience. And I love how she can put words to everything about how she feels and what she's experienced.
And to be able to see, right? I mean, she says she's achieved all these things this year. And so things are going well. It's not like she was in trouble and she got into BU, right? She was curious. She wanted some solutions. And now she's finding that it's doing even more for her than she realized. And now she's recognizing that that is a part of why she is able to achieve. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. She's just blown my mind with her reflection about everything. It's been awesome.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, should we take a short 5-minute break for ourselves and then come back with Kristen?
Come back and hang out with Kristen.
Okay. All right. I will share my screen and then we'll be back in 5 minutes. You guys, if you're watching this recording, I'm going to share the page where you can sign up and get more information about BU. It's through my website, iloveitwhen.org, and just click on BU, the inner circle. So we will be back in 5 minutes. Let's see. All right, we're back.
We're back.
This is going by so fast. It always surprises me, but the conversation just carries itself so easily. All right, we have Kristen in the waiting room, so I'm going to go ahead and just bring her in.
Hello. Let me see if I turn it side. There you go.
There
You're
we
also
go.
sideways.
You were sideways
So-
for a moment only.
Yes. I was like, sometimes it takes a while to kick in. So, how are y'all?
Hi.
Good, how are you?
Hello. Oh, I'm really good. So, yeah.
I love what you shared with us before we were going live today. You were telling us about a showing that you had today, which is huge and
It
exciting.
did. It is huge and exciting. I don't know if I would have had the confidence before this to be like, I can show a $2.9 million home. And so I felt fully confident in it today and being able to do it. And like, I felt
Amazing.
not necessarily confident, if that's the right word, but it's just like secure in myself and my abilities to, and that I am able and allowed to be in the presence of people with that type of money, which is just stupid limiting beliefs of myself that I have around people with money. So changing that. And I think a lot has to do with because my price point is like the 250 to 300 range. So yeah, that's where most of my buyers are.
Different
I love
reality.
that.
Yeah. So
Well, why
I'm
don't you
working
start off
on-
with like, oh, go ahead.
sorry. I said I'm working on finding like the perfect spot for my phone so I don't have to hold it and y'all aren't like looking at my forehead. And yeah. So
It's
'cause
okay. We
my
like your
boss is-
forehead too.
Should be your biggest problem today. Yeah.
right. My boss is in the office today and like it's a teeny tiny thing. We sit back to back. So I'm like, I'm not gonna sit in there to do this. So yeah.
Well, you're good. Well, tell us a little bit, tell everybody about yourself a little bit, who you are, what team
Okay.
you work with and what you do.
Sure. So my name is Kristen Kemper. I am in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I am the director of operations / sales agent on the Acker Properties Group with Keller Williams Central. We are based in Richardson, which I said that. We do a lot of farm and ranch, and then we also have a couple of agents that are specializing in the city, and we have one that's trying to move into the luxury area. She's currently on maternity leave, thus I'm getting her stuff, and that's how I ended up in my showings today.
Fun.
So yeah, but that's
A little bit of
kind of a quick
everything.
rundown. We do a little bit of everything. I did not think growing up as a city girl that I would ever be having to walk acreage and discussing about stalls and how many have turnouts and barns and all of that. I never thought that would be in my wheelhouse, but
And a
here
part of
it
your
is.
vocabulary.
And a part of my vocabulary. Yes.
understand.
Yes. So
Being
here
a
I
city
am
girl
now.
who lives in Vermont now, I totally understand.
Right. And I didn't even think I was a city girl. I grew up in College Station. So now I'm just like, oh, I was a city girl compared to what I'm doing now. So
And what prompted you to join BU, the inner circle? What was your motivation?
my motivation. So I was actually listening to the podcast Offer Accepted when y'all were on there for that. And I had known, like I had seen Margaret's name in some of the Facebook groups that we were in for the admin stuff. And I was like, oh, it really resonated. That podcast where y'all were talking about BU and what it was going to be really resonated with me because at that point in time, I was transitioning from the executive admin to director of ops, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And so I was like, well, I kind of need to figure out what I'm doing and what that is and what that means. And so I really thought like that's kind of what it was going to be like. So it's different than what I was expecting, but it's so much more and so much better than what I was expecting. Mainly because I was expecting it to be all about like director of ops kind of stuff, which it's not. It's about being a better me, which is making me better in my job, if that makes sense. So I would say it wasn't what I originally expected it to be, but it is so much better. So yeah,
Cool.
Cool. And that kind of leads us to the next question, which is what has surprised you about the group?
Well, there's that. I mean, also I went into it with not having expectations really, or at least trying to limit them, because I think we always enter with an expectation. So the things I've really enjoyed about the group is getting to meet people from different areas of the country, and chatting with them about their goals, also about how like they are running things, because it is stuff that does flow into our little conversations that we have. And so just seeing all the different personalities that are out there, and the support that they give each other. I got a lot of support out of one of the groups that I was in, because you do move us around through the groups, and there was the accountability groups. And so one of them, just like I was going through kind of a rough patch in that moment that I was in that group with my position. And so getting to chat with them about it and them giving me ideas, and just like, I left that group at such a higher spot mentally than I had been when I first entered that group. So that was very good for me.
Well, and how cool that you felt, vulnerable to do that, that you had the courage to do that. And then they were there for you, and
they were there for me. I mean,
cool.
It was really great, because I don't like to be vulnerable. It seems like, to me, I feel like it's a sign of weakness. So they got to see me cry, which I hate doing with people that I do not know. And so like them feeling safe enough to be able to do that with them, and them being able to work with me and give me ideas and all of that really helped. So it was definitely, I will forever be grateful to that group of ladies that I had at that time.
Yeah, that's so powerful. That's so
yeah.
Because I do think, right, no matter what it is, whether we are on a team, whether we own our own business, right? I mean, I see it in my own business that we're still going to go through challenges. We're still going to go through patches. We still need, support, training each other, ideas, suggestions, right, to be able to do that at any level. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, looks hard to me, and if they've already gone through it, and they can be like, oh, I did that already. I've already seen that patch. This is what worked for me in it. This is what didn't work for me. Have you tried this? Just opening that door to be able to walk through it and incorporate new ideas into my life, into the business. That was great.
Really nice.
Yeah, I almost feel like, I remember when I first started networking, and I was like, oh, there's data on this. Like, this has happened with other people, and they're willing to share with me like this. So and especially outside of your own market. Like, I remember when I started networking outside of the Pacific Northwest, and people were willing to share. Like, one big conversation was splits. Like, we had a lot of different agents at different times that would argue back about our splits. And so then I was able to go out, gather data, come back to my boss with like, hey, here's what I found. We're actually doing okay. It was priceless. It was made me feel more confident in my role, because I could say like, hey, I know I'm doing the right thing. I know we're doing the right thing, and here's what I have to show for it.
I always like if I can find data to back it up. I mean, my previous job was a sped teacher, where my daily life was all about collecting data. So data, if I can have it to use it to back it up, it works for me.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone, Kristen, who was on the fence about, I don't know if I should join?
I would say, what is it that you're looking for, and how can we get you there? Pretty much, because, if you're just spinning your wheels in the same spot and you want to move forward, this is that thing that's going to project you there. So it's going to give you that push that you need, for sure.
Very nice.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm all about not spinning my wheels in the same spot.
Right.
So.
Yes.
I don't want to do that. Exactly. If I'm going to stall out somewhere, at least let it be further down the road.
And then why have you decided to continue your membership? Because I know we've had a couple people leave through the year, and then I felt like once we got to like months 5 and 6, we hit a rhythm. And for people that stuck through to that time, I think the ROI of the group really started to show at that point.
Right.
But for you
Um,
personally,
For me personally, so I've really liked the speakers that you've brought in.
Mhm.
Like that was way more than I expected. I did not think that we were going to get that caliber of speaker into the group. I just thought it would be basically us all the time. So pretty much I just want to see who you get next. And who
Nice.
do I get some FaceTime with next, basically. So that's what I want. Plus, I mean, I'm a sucker for a good book to read. And though I may not always finish them on time and when we need to for the group, I like that you're providing these books for us to read. Like I've already taken your other list when you were on Pickett Street, and I'm like, all right, which books do I need to incorporate? Because some of those I've read and some of them I haven't. And
Mhm.
so getting to have that list that you're providing to us, and then also getting to have the discussions with everyone else in the group around them, well, around the books, their perspectives and their perspectives from their markets that's just wonderful. And part of the whole reason I'm still in. So I'm looking outside of my market area pretty much.
Nice.
Love that.
Mhm.
And is there anything else you would like to share with us about, like something that you're working on in terms of a leadership skill or something else you'd like to share?
So I'm working on creating my own admin mastermind in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Nice.
So far, there are 4 of us. We've had 1 meeting.
Nice.
Yay! Tomorrow is our 2nd meeting. So basically, for me, that's kind of big because I
Mhm.
am stepping out of I like to be in the background. I do not like to be the force and the driving force and the front runner of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is something that would be not only beneficial to me, but to other admins. And so I think that's really where I've been moving because I want to be beneficial to other people. And so it's like, how can I do that? Well, I can create this admin mastermind, which I never would have thought of to do had I not been in this group. And then also following Margaret and her Pacific Northwest group. So just having all of that, I would say that's my next goal.
I love that. Well, and then that's kind of like, that's something that we've talked about in the group that I know some people struggle with is, do they have value to add? And
yes.
it's really like, I think that process that you've gone through to realize, oh yeah, I have value to add. And part of that value is being the person to make it happen. Being the person to make that meeting happen is huge. It's a huge component of it.
Very, very huge. Like, yes, I know, I'm pretty sure I was one of those people, like I have no value kind of thing. And so I know that I do have value, and it's like stepping into my voice so that I am using it and being like, here's my value. Like I've always known I have value, but it's always been in the back. And I'm a person that likes to sit not in the back of the room, not in the front, but somewhere in the middle. So I kind of hide in the crowd. But so now I'm working on, you know what, I'm going to use my voice. It's going to be loud. It's going to be up front. And I'm going to add to all of those around me. So, I mean, I even stepped out of my comfort zone and got onto the PTO of my kids' school, which is big. I wouldn't have done that before this. I would have been like, no, y'all go do that yourselves. I mean, sure, I'm doing the technology side, but it's still, I'm the one who now makes sure that the newsletter goes out each month. So yeah, wouldn't have done that without BU and being intentional. So
Really
I love that.
incredible. Congratulations.
That's amazing.
well, I mean, no, I think y'all deserve the congratulations for like creating this program that allows us to step into our powers. So
Well, we thank
Thank
you. We
you.
create the container, but then everybody
Yes.
else has to do their individual work at their own pace, right? The way
exactly.
that works for them. As
Mhm.
we've just wanted to set up the container.
And I've loved it because like I'm a big fan of Gretchen Rubin and her 4 tendencies. And I know I've probably talked about it a lot in here. And being of the rebel tendency, I push against like my own wants and what other people want me to do. So the way y'all set it up, I don't feel like it's a demand on me, but more of like a, hey, you can do this if you want. And a more of a like finding my identity, which is what really resonates with me. It's like, I want to be an identity, and what do I identify as? So
Oh, I love
I'm now,
I love
I'm
that
working
too.
on I identify as a person who does the work for growth. So
That's incredible. I think what you just voiced there was something that we've wanted to make sure that people felt, which was this is a self-led journey. Like we want to provide the container and provide some resources and give you access to speakers and set up the accountability. Like we want to provide that kind of operations side of it and the facilitation, but ultimately the realization that your journey is all you are the CEO of your life. Like Jennifer Beatles said, you are the CEO of your life. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that's great. I am the CEO of my life. So yeah.
I love the way you put
Thank
that.
you
though.
so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for it, ladies. I mean, without you, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So I'd
So
bring you a little further back.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank you for joining us today and taking some
Oh,
time
you're
out of your
welcome.
day.
Thank you. Of course.
See you next time.
All right. I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you.
Good
Bye.
luck today.
Thank you.
Let's see. Wow. I feel like each person says something that I want to write down as a quote. And I'm gonna have to go
I'm
back and
so
listen.
happy for her. I'm so happy for all of them. I mean, this is really the intention come to life, Mo.
Mhm. It is. Yeah, this is the,
Happening. They're doing it. It's happening for them.
yeah, it's amazing. Really
Wonderful.
exciting. All right, should we bring in our last person?
Yeah, Jennifer.
Jennifer. Cool.
Hi, my friend.
How
Hi.
are you doing?
I am doing amazing. How are you?
That's
Good.
a great response.
Oh,
Also amazing. Look how beautiful you are.
thank you. I love seeing your guys' faces.
Happy Monday.
I know. Happy Monday. Monday's a little crazy always. So yeah, just taking all the energy, no matter what kind of energy it is. And that's why I'm amazing today.
Well, thank you for taking some time out of your busy morning to share with everybody about your experience. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're like the person that gets to tie the bow on the end of our time together this morning.
Really? Am I the
Yeah.
last one?
Mhm.
Yep.
All right.
So we want to
Finish-
know your
finish
name and what you do.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about your real estate career.
Okay. Well, my name is Jennifer Holtquist, and I am the director of Spokane for Closer Pros. And I own a TC company, so transaction coordination for real estate, and all that entails with that. So helping to do all of transaction coordination and real estate support service.
Love it.
How long have you been doing that?
Well, in this capacity, I actually had my first year of having my company. I know
Happy
isn't that
anniversary.
awesome? It was a huge milestone. And before that, I was transaction coordination or transaction coordinator for a specific individual firm. Yeah, I did that for about 3 years.
Awesome. And so what made you join the Inner Circle last February?
Well, I do have to, I'm going to be honest. Margaret was the reason that I joined. I met her I think it's been 3-4 years now.
Probably.
4 years,
Yeah.
4 years, I think. And so I knew her and loved her, and I knew that it was going to be something great. So I just, honestly, I didn't know really anything about personal development or any type of growth for just being an individual business owner. You know, I have had businesses before, but not on this level. And I knew that whatever Margaret had to say was going to provide some awesome things for me in my future. And I didn't know Kathleen at the time, but now that I do, I would have 100% signed up because of her as well.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Which leads into what we always like to ask. So what surprised you about the group?
Ooh, several things actually. I was surprised that I talked as much as I did because I just don't I don't do these types of things out in public. One-on-one, I can talk my heart out and connect with people, but I was very surprised that it actually brought some more out of me that I didn't know I had. So, and saying yes to these types of things that scare the heck out of me. But here I am.
Yeah, you did it.
And also surprised me seeing so many people out there in similar situations going through the same types of things. So that was very surprising as well. I knew, you always know those types of things, but you don't realize
Right.
It doesn't become reality until you're in the group and you're talking with people and you're meeting them face to face. And then you say, oh my gosh, that's me. You know exactly what I'm going through, and being able to be involved in something like that and collaborate with like-minded people who are either struggling or succeeding in the same ways. It's amazing. It takes you so much farther.
Yeah, I think you're really right about that. It's one thing to hear about it, but then when you're showing up, and we were talking about this with Kristen just before you, and I think even Amanda and Steffiana brought it up, but it's that slow progression of like showing up to the meetings, even if you feel like, oh God, I didn't read the book, should I even come? And then you come, yeah, it happens, right? You come, and then over time, it's like it sinks in that all sorts of people are experiencing similar things, and all of a sudden you're less alone, which all of a sudden it gives you like this bit of courage that you didn't have before.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like, first of all, you guys create an amazing space to be able to, for us to be able to talk and gain that courage. And then, I didn't read part of, I think I was very like, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I did get, super busy. And some of the times I wasn't able to read all the way up, and finish what I need to finish. But you guys are, you're there either way. You're like, life happens, understanding and you're there for our success, and so if we don't read the book, that's on us, and that is something that I think is extremely helpful that you guys provide, is that space. And like, we're here for you. We're here to cheer you on, and we're here to give you the tools that you need to succeed. It's up to you to use the tools, and so, but if you don't use the tools, we're not gonna, scold you or be on you. We're here to support you and help you, and then say, okay, well, why did that happen? And how can we change that? How can we help you get to the point where you can read the book and you can, spend that time? And it's just amazing. It really has helped me tremendously.
So what is something that you would say to people who are on the fence? Like, I don't know if I should join BU, the Inner Circle. I don't know if it's for me. What would you offer to them?
Oh my gosh. If I could physically shake someone, I would shake someone, and just say, what do you have to lose? You're not in it. You have no idea what it could offer. So why not try? Why not sign up? See what it's about. That you have nothing to lose, and you guys have made it to where it's affordable for those people that maybe brand new in their business and they don't have that capital. They don't have that extra, the extra funds to be able to pay for a huge amount of coaching and stuff, but they still get that high quality of coaching. It's such an amazing opportunity. Something that doesn't come around every day for you to be able to do. So thank you guys so much for being able to offer. And I actually saw Jaggle's her video about offering, for someone to jump in, and I would like to do the same, because I feel like it's that important for someone that's on the fence to be able to say, you know what, do this risk-free. You really, honestly, I feel like it would help someone so much that I will pay for someone's first month to be able to come in and experience it. And then, you know what, if you decide, it's not for you, I don't think that will happen. But hey,
Right,
there
to
you go.
sponsor someone. Ooh,
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you.
I feel
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, it's needed definitely for someone out there.
Well, I think it's the cool thing about the doors opening now for the first time is we have all of you, and ourselves included, who have experienced what the journey is like so far. So we're kind of, we know what it's been like so far, and all I can see from this place forward is the potential of what the more and more of what it could continue to be. And so I think being able to have, I mean, for you to offer to do that, and for Jaggles to offer to do that, speaks miles for people that have never been a part of this. So that's huge. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys have so much to offer somebody. Yeah, continually doing it every month. Like I said, it's you've made it to where people can afford it. But honestly, like my first few months, there's no way I would even been able to do that. So yes, someone to succeed, to jump in and just do it, they need to at least get that little jump start. And I would love to be able to help someone do that and get over that.
It's wonderful. Well, you're reminding me too, Jennifer, that, real estate agents learn that having a script or having a list of leads, right? Or what are the phone numbers of the expireds? Like, those are all important tools, but then they have to go through their own personal development of how do they speak up? How do they use their tone of voice? How do they build their confidence as they go through rejection, right? Like, so there's this tunnel that the agents have to go through in order to become a highly effective, consistent producer. And so that was part of our motivation of BU, the inner circle, which is what is the support look like? What is the container? And then what is the tunnel? What is the path, a success path that admin go through in order to gain their voice, speak up about their ideas, be able to set expectations well with clients or with the agents they work for, or be able to think outside the box and, not be caught up in the that frantic pace, that happens in the business, but how to be able to get some perspective and then be able to change things and enjoy life.
I know.
While being successful, right? And
Yeah.
so it is a parallel universe to what the agents go through. But Margaret and I really didn't know of any vehicle other than Margaret's retreats, right? Margaret has fabulous retreats, but they're 3 days. There's over 300 more days. So what are we going to do to be able to support each other, through the years of being able to keep that going? So I'm curious, Jennifer, what kind of impact, if you're willing to share it from a leadership perspective for you, like what has changed for you in the 8 months that
Oh
we've
my
been
gosh.
together?
I could probably talk to you for hours about it, but kind of in a nutshell, just to be able to have that perspective, to step back and be able to communicate in a way that I wasn't able to before. Because as Margaret knows, my mind is like 10,000, it does 10,000 things. And sometimes I just get too overwhelmed, for myself. And this group has been able to help me step back and see the whole picture and be able to communicate with the team members that I have underneath me that rely on me to be able to communicate to them effectively, and not just talk to them, but help guide them in, where we need to be and what our goals are, what our vision is. To me, before the group, I would probably have spit that all out and confuse the heck out of people. And so before the group, that's how it went. And now I can sit back, be able to communicate the way that they need me to communicate in different ways, because not everyone is the same, right? Not everyone has that same vision as you. So you have to be able to bring them on to what you're doing, but also to understand what your goals are, what they're trying to achieve. So as a leadership perspective, just being able to do that in a way that I never could before. Very clear, precise, sit back and actually listen to them, and then move forward together.
Amazing.
Love that.
Good for
Okay.
you.
Is there anything else you'd like to share before we let you go for the day?
Oh, I didn't even look at my time.
You're
Right.
doing-
Am I over? I
you're
usually
doing-
always.
no, you're doing perfect.
We're watching it. It's okay.
Oh, I usually talk and it just kind of, I don't look at the time sometimes, but yeah, like I said, I honestly, what do you have to lose? You can't, there's nothing to lose. You're doing what you're doing day to day, and there's just everything to gain from joining the group. Being able to be in a space where it's not just a group of people coming together. It's a group of people coming together who support each other and have two incredible leaders who coach us through whatever we may be going through. I mean, even outside, I mean, reaching out outside of the group. I don't know if that's okay to say, but we do. And asking for advice or asking for, what to do in the situation. You guys aren't just there to have the group for an hour. You're committed. It's the relationship and the person and growing as an individual. I mean, I can't say enough. So
Awesome.
do it.
Thank
Do
you.
it. Do it.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us and share. Really, like your voice, like I've shared with the other ladies, your voice will reach people that we couldn't on our own. So it means a lot.
Oh man, I hope it does. Even just like a person that is lost and wants to be able to make a change. Yeah, if I can lead that one person and help them join, and it changes their business for the better. I mean, how cool is that? If I can do that, yeah, that would be amazing. So
Thank
thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you for stepping outside your comfort zone.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you're a total natural. So I think
Oh my
you're
God.
hosting your YouTube channel soon.
I told my husband, I was like, I'm meditating before this. I gotta meditate. I did like a little
That was excellent use of tools.
5-minute meditation before I came on, because I said I can't even talk. I'm like, my voice is shaking. I don't know if you could hear, but yeah, out of my comfort zone. But you know what? What this group does 100% gave me the confidence to do it. And yeah, I embarrassed myself just willingly. Here we go.
Oh my
What do
God.
you have to lose? Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Have
You
a good
too.
Monday. See you next time. Bye.
See you next time.
Wow.
Oh, such great stories they have of how things are, how the group is impacting them and how they're making changes and the individuality of it, right? So once again, this so speaks to you and I created the success path and the tools and then lined up what books and speakers, right? And then being able to set the framework up, but then everyone's on their own journey.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I definitely had an idea of what we were hoping the results would be. And then the beauty of it is that you don't know, really, you can't know until things start to happen and people start to experience things. And it's all these little micro changes that they make along the way that add up to these much bigger feelings and events and
Yes,
who knows
being able
what.
to take action, to step forward in their personal lives and their business lives, doing things, to take initiative, like Kristen was talking about setting up an admin mastermind, right? And then if I can also, I want to say this, and this is not meant to toot our horn. It is an example of the fact that we had an intention. We created a plan. We took action. And we are willing to be vulnerable as we go to navigate with the values in place that we're going to do what's best for everyone. And it's working. Right. And so this is the things that we've learned, right, from the books we've read and the seminars and workshops that we've done, and our own intuitions of things that we know are right, and putting it into action. And so I also want to just point out the fact that BU, the inner circle, is also a living example of what that looks like. How you do that, and then everyone gets to try it in their own way to see how they want to implement it, because it is, everyone's on their own journey. We're just doing it together, but it's still individual.
No, that's a really good point. It was lots of imperfect action and lots of, like, you and I having conversations about, hey, I've had this in my mind for years. I mean, when I developed the mission and vision and values for the Pacific Northwest Admin Mastermind, it was with, I didn't know that this was the group, but it was with this in mind, of something that was going to be national and international, that everybody could join, where everybody could learn the tools that they needed to learn in order to go start their own admin masterminds, or take the step in their career that they want to take. And so, yeah, you're really right, that setting the intention and then putting it together and making it happen.
Right. And then we navigate along the way and see, well, what's right and what do people need and who can we help? And so that is an example, and it's working because it's happening. I mean, they're sharing their stories that, so it's not like we can take credit for that. We didn't do that, right? We set up the framework, and then we do facilitate and guide, and then everyone's doing their thing.
Everyone's doing their thing. And I love, like, what you said, you're right, that every time we meet, and as we're checking in along the way for the last 8 months, we have said, like, hey, this is an experiment. Maybe we open the doors and we have thousands of people join. And at that point, we shift things and we change to create that same feeling, no matter what size the group is, because our goal has always been to reach the people that need to be reached and help them understand that there's a community here for them. And so I think we do a good job also of really sharing with everybody where we're at. Like, hey, we don't know what's right or wrong. We want to make sure that this group is shaped to what they need and what they want.
Right. And we've seen value in having a larger group, which so far has been 40, right? But even if it was 200 and we broke it into 50, 4 groups of 50, and then we still have accountability groups of 5, right? And so there's still ways to get a big network to be able to attract the speakers and be able to, offer that, then still have intimacy and that they get to know people. So we're learning, right, that it is still able to be all those things, and we can still welcome all those that want to come.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So we should probably give them the details again of when the doors open. So it's we're recording this today on October 4th, and so as soon as Faceback is up for the world to see, and Instagram, we'll post it in all these places so you guys can catch up on these interviews. But the doors will be opening October 25th at 12:01 a.m. and they'll be open for 7 days. So through October 31st, Halloween, they'll be closing that night at midnight.
Right. And here's on the I Love It When website that you can join the wait list. And then here you can see it's $111 a month or $1,111 for the year. And our members have shared they get lots of value for that.
Yeah, when we think about the different coaching opportunities and the things that are out there for admin right now, there's really nothing like this, where you get this kind of facilitated agenda with resources and the things that Kathleen and I have worked really hard to provide, including the speakers like Kristen mentioned. We felt like this was a price where an admin could pay for themselves if they so chose to really to invest in themselves, or this is a really reasonable price for real estate agents to pay to have their admin be a part of. Yeah. So it's super exciting. So we hope that you guys have gotten some good value from this and from meeting some of the inner circle members today. And I think, several of the ladies mentioned, reach out to any of the current inner circle members if you have questions about what the group has been like, and reach out to Kathleen and I between now and the end of October, and feel free to ask us questions, learn more. I'm always happy to hop on a Zoom call with people or the phone and just talk you through more of what this is all about. But we would love to have you be a part of this.
We sure would. Thanks, Mo.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to pause this.